Hello, this is Kate. I'm Woolly Faye. Welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, we're going to be working with the alternating paired double crochet stitch. What that means is we're going to be working the paired double crochet stitch. We're going to be alternating it. And I'm going to have you working just a small swatch today. You're going to need an odd number for the foundation row. You're going to need to chain an even number because we're going to lose a stitch, because we're going to start out with a single crochet foundation row and then be working our double crochets after that. So go ahead and chain 26 and then we'll get started. So if you have a foundation chain of 26 chains, then you're going to want to locate the back bumps on your foundation chain. You've got a flat side and then you have a side with little ridges. You're going to work into those little ridges. You're going to skip over the first back bump, which usually gets swallowed up at the end of the loop here. And you're going to move down to the second back bump on the chain. That's going to be right there. So find that back bump that's right next to your loop and move down to the next one. Slide your hook up under it, pull up a loop, and complete a single crochet. Go to the next one, slide your hook up under it, pull up a loop, and complete a single crochet. Now because you skipped that first back bump, that's where you lose your stitch. So you chain 26, but you're going to have a foundation row of 25 single crochet stitches. So go ahead and work one single crochet into every back bump on your foundation chain, and we'll continue from there. Now if you have your foundation row of 25 stitches, turn your work around and chain 2. That will count as your first double crochet. Even though it's a chain 2, it's your first stitch. Go directly to the second stitch on the row and do a double crochet. Now you're going to skip the next stitch. And in the next stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochet. So 2 double crochet into the same stitch. It's 1 and 2. So let's take a look at what we have. We have a chain 2, a double crochet. We skipped the next stitch and we put 2 double crochet into the next stitch. Now we're going to skip the next stitch and put 2 double crochet into the one that follows. So we skipped a stitch and 2 double crochet into the following stitch. Skip the next stitch and again 2 double crochet into the following stitch. So there are 2 double crochet in each stitch and we're skipping a stitch each time. Skip the next, 2 double crochet into the following stitch. There's 1, into the same stitch, there's 2. Okay, so I am putting the final double crochet into the 24th stitch. There's 2 in each stitch. We skip a stitch, 2, skip a stitch, 2. So I'm putting the second one into the 24th stitch. And now I'm going to put a double crochet into the last stitch. Now I'm going to turn the work around and chain 2. I'm going to count this as my first stitch, and I'm going to put a double crochet into that second stitch. Now I'm going to skip this next stitch and go directly into the space. So what you've got here, you had 2 double crochet where the 24th stitch was, and then you had 1 on the end. So you're working a chain 2 here, a double crochet here. Where this double crochet was right here, we're going to skip over it and go directly into the space. So put 2 double crochet stitches into the space. Now we're going to skip over these 2 and put 2 double crochet into the next space. Skip over the next 2, this one, and go directly to the space and put 2 double crochet into that. And again, skip over those 2 and go directly into that space. 2 double crochet into that space. Continue to do that all the way to the end of the row. On the last space, I put 2 double crochet. I skip over this one and I go directly into this last one. Turn the work around, and now I'm going to do the same. I'm going to chain 2. That's going to count as my first stitch. I'm going to put a double crochet into the next stitch. I'm going to skip this next stitch, and I'm going to put 2 double crochet into the space. Skip the next 2 this time and go directly into the space. When I reach the end of the row, I put 2 double crochet into the final space. And then I skip the next to the last stitch, and I go directly into the top of that chain 2 from the previous row and complete a double crochet stitch. Then I turn my work over and I do exactly what I did before. I chain 2. That counts as the first stitch. I put a double crochet into the next stitch. That'll be the second stitch on your row. I skip the next stitch and I go directly into the space with 2 double crochet. I skip over the next 2 stitches and I go directly into the space with 2 double crochet. I skip the next 2 stitches and go directly into the space with 2 double crochet. I skip the next 2 stitches and go directly into the next space with 2 double crochet, and I continue to do that to the end. So I've placed 2 double crochet stitches into the last space. I skip over the next to the last stitch. I put a double crochet in the top of the chain from the previous row where I chained 2, and I complete that and turn and just start over again. And you just keep repeating that row after row. As you can see, these alternate. It's a really nice look once you get quite a few done, as you can see on this one. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you the next time.